customers? Oh, pardon me. Are you looking for Tσdσs?
No. Just strange for him to not be around. Paimon, no?
I see. He was called away by Albedo a little while ago. I'm Sucrose, Albedo's assistant. If you have any alchemy-related queries, you could always ask me. I do my best to help. Huh? Do I look nervous? My apologies. I don't get out too often. If you need any help, just call my name. If not, I'll...
Thanks. No worries. We're all clued up on the basics of alchemy, aren't we?
Hey! Aren't you the legendary traveler? The one who repelled Storm Terror? Thank you. I've heard so many stories about you.
What do you...
Sorry. Don't mind me. Still, you definitely...
There's that name again. Albedo. Is he also an alchemist in Mondstadt?
Apologies. I never introduced him. Albedo is the Knights of Favonia's chief alchemist. He's also Tσdσs.
But Paimon's only ever seen Tσdσs teaching alchemy. So them...
Yes. He's dedicated himself to investigating the truth of... We often get alchemists coming to Mondstadt from all over Teyvat, seeking his help. They say that the subtlest of guidance from his...
Wow! Paimon didn't know...
Still, it seems that he's encountered a problem in his research recently. I'm sure that Albedo would love to hear about your incredible exploits. Albedo is a true gentleman. He'll be sure to pay you back in equal measure for helping him out.
Paimon doesn't need any help in that department. But if Albedo wants to pay Paimon back for helping him...
Albedo and Tσdσs will be conducting research in the mountains right now. I'm afraid you'll have to go to the entrance to the pass and look for him by yourselves. Look out for a Sorry.
But hey, stop worrying.
The neighboring nation of Leland has the most prosperous commercial port in all of Teyvat.
Sucrose is a whole lot less nervous once she gets talking about alchemy and research, huh? Is that what all researchers are like? Anyway, let's go and look for Albedo.
So here you are! Choir practice is about to...
I've told you already, I don't go in for that kind of thing. I've got more important matters to...
Oh, but this event has commemorative significance.
Hopes? That's odd, because I don't recall a fulfill the hopes of others clause in my job description.
I mean, sure, but...
But what? You're the event organizer, aren't you? Do you not find it the least bit odd?
What do you mean?
This far out from Mondstadt at this hour? Even if you set out right now, I'll wager you'd still miss the opening ceremony. Who knows? Maybe this is someone's grand plan to make a fool out of you.
Huh? Well, that can't be. People aren't like that.
Evidence decides what people are like, not your feelings. Maybe you're a little too trusting of other people. Don't fret, nobody's gonna blame you if you go back empty-handed. I can't imagine anyone else was delusional enough to think I was gonna show up. But if you dally any longer, you really won't make it.
You're right. It's a very important commemorative event. If I'm late, then... right, I've gotta get going.
Seems like that sister's an expert in making people believe anything she wants.
I thought I heard something. Who are you and why are you eavesdropping?
We'd better watch out. She seems like a dangerous villain, or a trickster at best.
Oh, really? I'm a member of the long-standing Favonius Church. You're an eavesdropping pixie from who knows where, and you think I'm the trickster?
Wait, she heard that? Paimon was whispering so quietly.
And as for this outlander you seem to be following... So it's you. The honorary knight that saved us from storm terror. Well then, given your status, I won't press you on your reasons for eavesdropping. Otherwise, depending on your answer, I could have arrested you on the spot.
What? Do the Sisters of Mondstadt have the authority to arrest people now?
We can't go turning a blind eye to hidden dangers, can we? Why shouldn't sisters have a sense of justice?
That doesn't sound right. But Paimon can't think of a good comeback.
Let's talk about you. What are you doing in the mountains? If it's him you're after, I made a point of noting his tracks. Many people have made their way up after the snowstorm. Let's hope they're still there.
So, are you also looking for him?
No, this is just a professional habit of mine. I sensed elemental I couldn't care what you think. Come on.
Rosaria said there were elemental traces in the tracks. They should show up pretty clearly with elemental sight.
Fry!
One with nature!
Get out of here!
As one with wind and
A little
cloud!
taste! Should replace my hammer.
You know, little pixie, your ability to appear and disappear at will is very interesting.
Yeah?
After committing a crime, you'd be able to leave the scene without...
It's getting colder and colder. Rosaria, aren't you freezing?
Me? I'm alright. I got used to operating in adverse conditions a long time ago.
Huh? Seems like there's more to being a sister in the Favonius Church than Paimon realized. Is that albedo? Why would he hang around a place like this?
The word on the street is he loves paint. The views and scenery here are pretty good.
But can't... Uh-oh. Looks like we startled them. Enough talk. Let's take them out of the picture first.
Who are you? Why did you alarm them? Thank the gods I'd already completed my painting. Would have been a shame to leave these particular hilly churls unfinished.
What's up with painting hilly churls? What makes them so interesting?
I'm afraid the answer isn't easy to explain. If you'd like to have a look at my painting, it may give you a clue.
Wow! Look at the detail! But some of it seems to have been done in a hurry.
You can find these hilly churls anywhere. Quite boring, in fact. Not worth closer inspection. But take a look at this specimen. The build, the coat, and there's a distinct force at work here. In the cyclical lives of such primitive communities, such unique attributes are an indication of evolution at work.
Hold your horses. Something tells me we're in for a thesis and I haven't. We found your man. I'm headed back.
What? Don't you have any questions for him? Hey! What a weirdo.
So Sister Rosaria brought you. Surprising. And I didn't have time to thank her. But back to the point. From her words, it seems...
We met a girl in Mondstadt, Sucrose. She...
I see. So Sucrose sent you here. Then, if I'm not mistaken, I've heard a bit of everything. your actions during Storm Terror's attack, I'll skip to the conclusion. There's only one possibility after all. Excellent. If I could procure your assistance, I think my research would... Forgive me. This must be confusing.
Whoa. You wanna start...
For example, awakening life. Breathing new life into fallen leaves.
You can do that?
However, I have a particular seed in my possession. The method I'm talking about, it's like you, in that it hails from another world. Helping it to grow, to bloom,
Well, if you're struggling to figure it out,
I beg to differ. I'm unable to comprehend the intricacies of life outside of the known world, but you're not from the known world. By observing and researching you...
Shall we just get out of here? This sounds a little freaky.
Mora, knowledge, and the answer to the question. Time for a change of surroundings.
Albedo and that traveler seem to have hit it off. Takes a weirdo to know one, I guess. I wonder, does this constitute a risk?
Paimon has a question. After the seed sprouts...
I don't know, but I feel the importance will lie in the method, not the endpoint. Using alchemy to awaken otherworldly life into that would constitute a big leap in my understanding of the essence of life. After awakening, even Still a little difficult to understand.
No! Paimon's got a brain! But what's the seed
Well, if it turns out to be a delicious fruit, dinner's on me.
Yay! Paimon's holding you to it.
Well, let's just say I, occasionally have to look after a child. Another lengthy explanation, I'm afraid. I suppose it's one of... The subject of my first research was the elements. In this world, manipulating the elements requires a vision. Though I can't... How you're able to freely manipulate elemental power is something I'd like to... Firstly, do you have any extra organs? A second heart? A fourth stomach? Fascinating. And this floating child is... connected to your body in...
What a stupid question! Can't you see the gap between us? And another thing, it's Paimon, not...
I was merely considering the possibility that you were an external organ. Perhaps... Oh, that rules out that possibility. But that would mean that Paimon's elemental power would be enough to break through a mountain rock at least 10 meters thick, or cause the waterfall south of Springfield to flow backwards. No, that definitely can't be it.
Hey! How would you know anyway?
In that case, it would appear that there's no obvious difference between the composition of your body and that of the humans in this world. Given that there's clearly a discrepancy in their research, it seems that only experimentation... Firstly, this mysterious elemental power. Let me lure a few slimes to the area.
Huh? Doesn't seem very scientific.
Direct and clear observation are imperative to a good experiment. Naturally, if you require a greater challenge, we could bring in 6 Oceanids.
Slimes! Slimes are fine!
Well, prepare yourself.
Into the wind! wind knows me.
Teamwork is dreamwork!
Great work. Did you feel anything out of the ordinary? If you're injured, I have a few emergency potions ready. Excellent. According to my observations, the manifestation of the external elemental... Now that we know that the external flow is manifesting normally...
Internal flow? How do you test?
It's very simple. I can use... If the elemental power is stored or accumulated physically within your body, this potion may elicit an
Sounds kinda terrifying.
Don't worry. In the normal course of events, you'd feel...
And in the abnormal...
If anything unexpected occurs, I've made the necessary preparation. Well, it's not that there aren't any risks involved. But if there is anything blocking your elemental flow, just a warning. If an internal elemental reaction occurs for... Yes, that's an excellent way to think about it. It's a type of ore known as star silver. But I'll take you to my campsite. We can gather some star silver ore on the way. I'll point out any likely... All going to plan.
Paimon's still got a few safety concerns, but let's keep our eyes...
Here. Should do for catalyst purposes. This one. Usable with a bit of polish. What luck. This should be enough. My campsite is just up ahead. I'll lead the way. This is my campsite. I've added the materials we collected to the concoction. While we are waiting, have a look over here. My assistant Tσdσs here is helping me with my research.
Hello! I've just gotten hold of the data from your experiment.
Whoa! Look at all the data! You got all these results?
I wouldn't call them results. Inference. I think the most rational direction would be to expound on the phylogenetic... Consider. You don't have a vision, but you can manipulate elemental energy. Following this line of thought, I'm sure we'll be...
Not bad for a point of entry. But strictly speaking, slimes are elemental life forms. A cryoregis vine, or even a whopper flower might be a better analogy. In that sense...
Yes, sir. That sounds...
After all, we've got our primary data already. If it turned out that she did have a phylogenetic relationship...
Ah, it would. Apologies. Speaking of data, to complete our research, we'll need some more. I'll be conducting...
Great. I'll leave you to it. Looks like the potion's ready. I'll try a little first. In line with my expectations. Ready to drink. I've just tried some. It's in line with my expectations. Remember to keep calm at all times, and breathe deeply if you feel unwell. I'll be noting down all observable results and data points. Remember to keep calm at all times, and breathe deeply if you feel unwell.
face? You said you tried some already. You sure it was ready? What's happening?
Oh, this was the result I was expecting. And a very this potion channels elemental power into the body. Under normal circumstances, but if the internal elemental flow is unimpeded, you'll only experience momentary discomfort. Once the flow is complete...
So you knew you'd be sick and still drank some?
It was my own concoction, of course. Only natural for me to be the guinea pig. But of course, you're my assistant. By all sense and reason, it would be wrong of me to place that risk. In conclusion, I'd say we have our conclusion. As far as elemental energy is concerned...
Aw, Paimon wanted something cooler to happen.
Then again, better an ordinary result than a peculiar result. Peculiar results have a tendency to be of the... The good thing about ordinary is that everything is... People are the same, they can understand, empathize, encourage. When you're sick, a doctor can diagnose you because they are you. When something goes wrong, but a peculiar person, they don't have... For example, a human can't understand the life of a pyroregisvine or an eye of the storm. To sum up, this has been a positive outcome. Going forward, you can use your elemental power without fear. Tσdσs, the results of the new experiment are out. If you could see to collating them.
Just a moment, sir. I'll handle it. Oh, you gave me a lot to consider. Really stretched my limits. I'm thinking a lot clearer now. Having you down as an animal wasn't very precise of me. But starting with the premise of an elemental life form? Now that was...
Not bad. I think it's an interesting line of inquiry. Whatever the truth of the matter.
You can count on me, sir.
Is he trying to join the Knights? He's starting to sound like a suck-up. What Paimon meant to say was... That's the...
Before we can proceed with our research, if you're interested, why not have a look around?
Here comes albedo! Let's go see him!
I'm back. Did you see anything interesting? Not to worry. They're all for alchemical purposes. You'd be hard-pressed to find an everyday use for them. Well, on with the research. There may be significant differences between different worlds. Take Teyvat, for example. Here, but worlds may well exist where only one person is able to do so. Or even everyone. So, leaving elements to one side, I think answering this question calls for the same methodology as last time. In other words, time for the next experiment. No. You shan't be required. Now, see this pillar here? Use your willpower to try and break it. That was your best effort?
What's with the disappointment? Isn't that like...
Have you tried using your elemental power with food? I don't mean for cooking, as such. I'm curious to see how the taste and texture respond. It may even help with proliferation. I suppose I have a curiosity for things that... Anyway, why don't you cook us up a sunshine sprat? I've just finished preparing the recipe.
Cooking? Paimon was looking forward to more mad sun.
Not only is this recipe a staple for me, it's also worth experimenting with and highly...
Paimon bets you. That does sound yummy, though. Okay, Paimon approves. Good buddies are up.
I'll leave you to it then. Looking if there's anything left over,
Paimon doesn't think we'll have... How are we gonna channel elemental power into the food? Maybe try the willpower thing again. Where does he get these ideas from anyway?
That was fast.
Let's just do it the old-fashioned way.
That was fast. Looking forward to testing. That was fast. Looking forward to tasting. An average outcome experimentally, but you've really brought out the flavor. You seem well versed in the science of gastronomy. As far as the proliferation hypothesis is concerned, we've come up short. Seems like food presents the same headaches in your world as it does ours. Unless... could it be that the natural laws of this world are limiting your unique abilities?
We just didn't know how to channel elemental power into the food. It's a little more complicated than adding herbs and spices, you know.
Not to worry. At least we put some food to good use. No need to feel disheartened. And here's your portion. Enjoy. I can box it up if you like.
Woohoo! Thanks! Glad you were paying attention.
I can tell that you're good friends. Paimon was keeping an eye on you and your safety during the whole experiment. Not that Paimon would have been able to do much if things had gone—
Hey! You were being nice a second ago! But you do have tasty recipes, so Paimon, and you're right, we are good friends. You have good friends.
Yes. I'm fortunate too, I suppose. There are all manner of alchemical items here. Keeping them in their proper place is a challenge at the best of times. A while ago, I had the misfortune of misplacing a batch. I managed to retrieve the majority, but 2 vials have been evading me.
Paimon's barely finished eating.
Don't worry if you can't locate them. I was planning to replace— if you had, say, a superpower, like night vision or vibratory sensing. I must have dropped them somewhere in the area where you were looking just now.
So, guess we'd better take a look. Oh yeah! The extract of an anemo crystal fly can only be anemo elemental energy, right? This must be electro-hypostasis powder.
Goodness, you managed to find them. Incredible. I'm wondering, this elemental sight, this is what allowed you to locate the items and find me here on the mountain.
Yep, guess it does sort of count as—
Unfortunately, though elemental sight is seldom seen, it is only a never-before-seen otherworldly power would—
You mean, we failed again?
Don't be disheartened. This falls entirely within my expectations. Besides, getting these items back, I have to commend your deduction that the items would contain elemental traces. Right then. Up until now, our research has focused on your otherworldly identity. Our research on your identity as one of us is just beginning. In essence, the differences between humans are reflected in our intellectual and physical capabilities. Looking out from where we're standing, can you see what Sucrose is doing? And if you jumped from here and landed on that cliff, the one over there, could you see her then? So what about if you planted a single blow on the mountain face here, and it burst into 1,000,000 fragments? Then I shouldn't get too excited. Still, I know of a location that will be perfect for a physical test. Please.
Adventure time! Off we go! Let's light it up! Adventure time!
You want us to jump?
Not necessarily. Not if you know of a better method, that is. Whichever method you choose, the experiment will end when you reach the opposite shore of the lake. I will factor the time expended and your top speed into my comparative analysis.
The opposite side of the lake. So, we're gonna be swimming?
Without limitations, we complete tasks intuitively. Some of us would be unable to stand the icy waters. Others might find the whole thing rather No matter what choice you make, it's all a part of the experiment. For me, every detail is invaluable to the research. Then if you would, please, I eagerly...
Wait a minute! While we're busy testing, what exactly are you gonna be doing?
Me? Recording data, responding to risks, providing, emotional support.
So if we do decide to go swimming, you gonna dive in with us?
No. Unless you're thinking of conducting competitive research?
Oh! Forget Paimon said anything.
Great work! I've never seen a performance quite like it. Your reputation precedes you, traveler. The data shows that you're easily outperforming the average citizen in Mondstadt.
But you followed us the whole way without breaking a sweat!
Me? Actually, I used alchemy to cheat a little. But anyway. If it turns out that the natural laws of Teyvat do not affect you, I should be able to make various inferences about the otherworldly civilization you belong to. If the natural laws of Teyvat do affect you, then I shall be able to make inferences into the kind of evolution that would occur under the absence of such effects. The innumerable possibilities that this could present, the captivating insights, it would be something to savor again and again.
But how does this help your research?
You've helped me to unravel many of the problems that were holding it back. When we return to the campsite, I should be able to show you something interesting. I may be about to make some analogies between you and a few unusual specimens. Gold, petrified trees, a sun 8 times the size of our own. The essence of the investigative process is enthralling, but such feelings are inevitably. I'm willing to pour all my energy into research, and yet specimens are finite. As the unknown transitions into the realm of scientific understanding, the feeling of enlightenment is lost. All these things that start out as objects of fascination end up possessing the prosaic mundanity of a Sunsettia or a sweet...
Oh, so that's why you wanted to paint those hilly turtles? Because you got to see something new and interesting in the differences between them?
Precisely. To quote my exact words from earlier, these creatures are, for the most part, quite boring, not worth closer inspection. There is precious little about them that's...
So after all these experiments, are we gonna be, boring to you? Like some basic...
Of course not. You have been of great assistance to me, and I will remember this friendship for a lifetime. Now, before we head back to the campsite, there's one more experiment. Intelligence. Follow me. There are some other ruins nearby.
Time to go. I imagine you must have encountered more than a few conundrums during your travels. I'd like to observe your intelligence by means of a practical test of your capabilities, much as we did for the physical test. I'd like you to explore these ruins and return with your findings. There are 2 puzzles located at the far ends of the ruins. After completion, you should be able to activate the mechanism in the center. As with the physical test, there are no restrictions. Everything you do, a tried and tested adventurer, I see. So, let's see you in action. Start wherever you like. It's a complex environment, so proceed with caution.
We go!
Sealy like these are a common sight in the mountains. Returning them to their rightful places is up to you.
Off we go!
One with nature. It should now be possible to activate the central mechanism. Exactly what will happen when you do is something I'm looking forward to finding out. Oh, seems that the water level... What's this? To the best of my knowledge, these belong to a script of some kind. They can be found all over Teyvat, but they've never given up their secrets. There's still a lot to learn about them. And as for why they should ever have come to rest here, let me make a copy first. I'll make time to go over them in greater detail after our research.
Another thing for the don't understand list. Unsolvable mystery this, weird experiment that. It'd be nice to get... Seems like if you want the reward, you gotta pay the price.
I've truly gained a lot from all this. Comparatively, the little reward I can offer is too small to mention. Let me return to the campsite first. By the time you get back, I may just have a fleeting miracle for you to witness.
Paimon's kinda looking forward to seeing the result of all this brain ache. Unless you can think of anything better to do, let's head back to the campsite.
Not so fast. You're not leaving until I'm convinced that nothing dangerous is going on here.
You didn't leave the mountain?
I most certainly did not. And I've witnessed everything that you and Albedo have been up to. I must say, you let your guards down. Or maybe you were drawn in by his compelling-sounding hypothesis and friendly demeanor. Taking orders from a complete stranger, drinking anonymous potions, participating in all kinds of strange experiments? I'd sooner believe you were tricked than that you would be so naive. Or perhaps you were colluding from the beginning.
Sister Rosaria's guard's so high, she can't even see over the top of it.
It doesn't matter what you think. He could be a saint for all you know. But I understand him a little better than you, Outlander. I'm only concerned with one thing. Whether his alchemy has transformed you into something more sinister.
No way! Paimon would have sensed it! And anyway, he didn't even use any—
With an alchemist of his level, you wouldn't sense a thing. In any case, I'm not about to let a potential threat back into Mondstadt.
So, what are you gonna do?
I've gotta hand it to you. You have your moments. If I can be sure that nothing you came into contact with is... I've investigated everything else. The only items left on the agenda...
But we don't even know what they mean.
That much is true. Not to mention, seems like there's nothing more to them. But for insurance purposes, I'd better make a copy. This is now a location of interest. Now then, all things which is what I was hoping. I would have been one very unhappy sister if you'd made me work
Overtime?
Before we go our separate ways, Outlander, a word of advice. Don't be so quick to trust Albedo, and don't repeat the same mistakes that you did this time. You made a lot of rash decisions today.
She's gone! So stubborn. Mondstadt doesn't have many people like that. Huh. Never mind her.
We should be able to see what's in the water now. Let's have a look.
Time to go.
You're back. Good timing. I've just about reached the conclusion. You took quite a while. Did you get held up on the way back? I wouldn't worry. She's just doing her job. Time for the results. We got a myriad of data today, and it was very difficult to finish all the research in one go. But the integral preliminary conclusion that I can offer you is... you're very much like a human from this world.
You couldn't tell that just by looking? We spent all day working our butts off for that?
Please, I understand that this may have seemed self-evident to you, but in fact, nothing in this world should be taken for granted. Have you ever considered that the world of Teyvat may have a natural hostility to Outlanders? I mentioned the natural laws of this world. You're able to converse with me here without consequence, and nothing seems amiss. But it's arguably a small miracle. The only other life form that, like you, has come here from afar is the seed that I mentioned. Under the effects of Teyvat's natural laws, but after I observed you, imitating you helped to inspire my alchemy. And so...
Whoa! It looks like something's appearing!
The transition from nothing into something, from shoot to stem. And is not nurturing otherworldly life also nurturing the world itself? It would seem that that's as far as we go. A transient bloom of incomparable beauty. Life's proudest achievement.
Paimon thought, with all our efforts, it might have bloomed forever, and it didn't even have any fruit.
Life is a manifold tapestry of free entities. Its value shouldn't derive from how long it stays with us. Even a momentary burst is precious. A short life can be well lived. A life lived to fit. So, do you understand what I meant about us conversing here arguably being a small miracle?
Things feel a little heavy right now. Don't be sad. Albedo, Paimon really wants to be your friend.
Thank you both. Even if dispelling loneliness is not essential for life, it certainly doesn't hurt. Your help inspired me to discover the means to make a flower bloom. I mean that the time I've spent traveling with you in the mountains was a valuable journey for me. In the future, if the need arises, can I solicit? Well, glad I can count on you. I made a point throughout of telling her how but what was that sediment I saw forming at the bottom of the vial? It should not have been there. Those born of earth are bound by its imperfections, but those born of chalk are free of impurities. If, one day, I lose, can I rely on you to stop?